3 steps to ensure that we do not give up on our goals. We start our New Year's resolution and sometimes 2 weeks later we fall off the bus. So these 3 steps will help you to not give up on your goal, and it works. Step 1, visualize it. Find the resources that you need. For instance, if you want to become a marathon runner, you might need some good tackies. You might even need a nice outfit that you can wear to feel good. And you'll need a safe space to run where you can practice. So you find your resources, and you also find out, what do I need to do from my side to ensure that I can do this goal, that I can achieve this goal. And that will be something like, I'll have to be disciplined enough to wake up in the morning, jump out of bed and go for a run. Or I'll have to do it when I come home from work and I'm tired. And you then have to decide, and that is another important part of step 1. After you have visualized it and after you have decided, do I have the resources and am I prepared to do what needs to be done? Once you've done that, you say, okay, now, and this is the most important part of step 1 in my view, do I really want this? Do I really want to do this? Is this really what I want? Once you've done that, you're ready for step 2. So now you've decided that this is what you want, you started to practice, you started to run every morning, it's going well. And one morning you wake up and you just don't feel like it anymore. And you realize, I don't actually think I like to do this. I don't really want to become a marathon runner. I realized that this morning I felt tired and I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to do it anymore. Now this is where I believe it is a test from the universe. That way of looking at it is really serving me. I feel that these thoughts are almost a test to say, is she being this person yet? Can she be this person yet? Or is she still the old person? If you want to be a marathon runner and you feel like you don't want to do this anymore, you cannot be a marathon runner, because a marathon runner is a person that is the type of person that would not stop when he gets tired. He will carry on. He will not stop when it says in his head, you are not able to do this. This is too hard for you. The marathon runner is the person that became a marathon runner and lives and walks and talks like a marathon runner. He's a new being. And I don't mean by that you become a different type of personality. I'm talking about your entire state of being changes. You're not separate from your goal. You're not separate from who you become. You are one thing. In step 2, when these doubts and fears come up, you can ignore them safely. You can 100% just say, I'm ignoring these thoughts. Because in step 1, 2 weeks ago, I made very sure. I sat for weeks. I looked at, what do I want? What do I need for this? And what am I prepared to do? And do I really want this? I asked myself that question very thoroughly. And now that I'm having doubts, I can safely ignore these doubts. I can safely ignore these fears, because I know that this is what I want. I do want it. Right now, I do feel that I don't want it anymore. I do feel that I cannot do this, that I'm not able to do this. And I do feel that I don't want it anymore. And these thoughts are not true, because I know that I really want this, because I have investigated properly over a period of time. I do want this. So you turn your back on those thoughts and you carry on with your life. And that way you can become this new person. You can embody them. Step 3 is literally just, step 2 will keep on popping up. You will keep on having this little tests by the universe saying, is she being that being yet? Is he being that being yet? If you are studying to become a doctor, and after 2 years of study, you say, I don't really want to do this anymore, then you are not being what a doctor would do. A doctor, if he's being a doctor, he would have finished his studies, else he couldn't be a doctor, couldn't become one. He couldn't embody the beingness of being a doctor. So step 3 is literally the coming up of these tests over and over. They pop up. You will have overcome them, and then a few weeks goes past and they will come up again. And every time you can see it as a good sign. You can see it as a sign of progress, which means that your new state of being is clashing with those old beliefs and thoughts, and therefore they are coming up as negative experiences, fears, doubts. So if you can keep your state of being, embody your state of being at that new place where you are not going to give in to these fears and doubts, that is when you become that new person. And those fears and doubts will fall away because this frequency that you're holding is so much stronger. You're embodying this new being. And that is it. If you follow these 3 steps, visualize, see if you have the resources, and is this really what you want? And then you go on to step 2, which is when the fears and the doubts and the old belief patterns come up because of a difference in frequency of your state of being. If you can then say, I'm not that old person, I have a new state of being, and I will 100% ignore these thoughts and doubts and fears because I know that I've tested myself properly, thoroughly in step 1 to know whether I really want this or not. And I can safely ignore them as if I'm right now in a hypnotic state of negative thoughts, and I can just move on blindly, carry on. And once you've made that decision, you'll see those thoughts just fall away. They literally fall away, and then a few weeks later they come up again, but weaker and weaker and weaker. And one morning you wake up and you have become a new person, literally. This is my view. Try it out, see if it works for you. Lots of love to each one of you. Keep your head high and know that you are loved.